Here we go again. Welcome, WrestleMania, the SLS wrestling podcast. Hello, Legion. Yep.
No, I'm late. I'm late. Hi, everybody.
I gotta say, I love that. I wish I could do that as well. That's just really cool. And that, so, yeah, WrestleMania 2 nights. God, I can't believe we're 3 days away. It's just, I know normally,
Yeah, that's just
yeah, normally Royal Rumble I'm most excited for, but just this WrestleMania has a feel about it. I don't know, and I probably said that last year, but this WrestleMania has a real big feel about it, like big fight thingos and that. So yeah, but
yeah,
hey,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. The past few WrestleManias have been going into it because you're like, oh, okay, I know what's gonna happen. I know I have an idea who's gonna win, and usually you're right, and that just ruins the surprise of WrestleMania. What's
yeah,
gonna happen?
mm-hmm.
Like, because you're gonna have the ideas, okay, who's gonna show up, gonna happen, this and that. This one's like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, yeah. I still think with the
And I'm looking
surprise,
forward to it.
yeah, I still think with the surprises there might be one or two surprises, and that like I've just yeah. But anyway, can I get your quick thoughts on the Elimination Chamber as well? Number one, not
Uh,
it was like being in Australia. I don't know from I know Perth. I don't know if you know Perth, but just from an American's point of view of looking at Australia, what was your point? How did you feel about it?
I I was just excited that it was where it took place in Australia. Of course, it was like
Yeah,
something fresh, something new that they haven't done in a long time.
yeah,
Uh, but as the pay-per-view or PLE, whatever people want to call it, as a whole, I found it kind of disappointing personally
okay.
because the only match I really enjoyed was the women's elimination chamber match. That's the only one I really enjoyed,
Well,
and the men's chamber match was mediocre at best, in my opinion.
okay. This is why I like this. You have your opinion, I have my opinion. I thought it was still pretty good. I will say one thing though. Only 4 matches. I know it's 4 matches and the interview with the Grayson Waller effect as well, but for a pay per view as well, I just don't. I'm just over these short matches, like not too many matches, and that. So it was one of the first times it showed off the Optus Stadium, which is in Western Australia, Perth as well. So it was one of the Optus Stadium only was built like I think about 5-6 years ago, and that. So outside of the
Oh,
MCG and the SCG and that, no god, it's nice when you get a phone call and that. Anyway, it's all good. Should have put it on. In fact, I'll put it on silent. Hang on. Sorry about that. All right, edit it out. You
oh,
know,
you're good.
you see who it is.
See,
Uh
this is what happens when you're live. Anything can happen.
huh. Yeah. Yeah. Anything can happen as well. But as I was saying, just yeah, just the like. There's the few things that they could show is like there's Telstra Dome, the MCG Melbourne Cricket Ground, Adelaide Oval, Sydney Cricket Ground. There is the I'm forgetting the names. I'm forgetting the name as well. The Gabba as well, and then Perth as well. So it's really yeah. It was just really good, and just the background as well, like with the sun coming down and all that stuff. I just thought it was good. I'm with you. Like I think the match of the night was the women's elimination chamber. I still feel like the tag team title match had me interested for a minute as well. Like with New Catch Republic, I thought, hang on, they wouldn't do it here. Like they did a really good showing, and that so. And I'm
Oh
just
yeah,
yeah,
they,
and
they
then
they've impressed.
yeah,
Go ahead,
and
sorry.
and I'm having a brain fart on the other match as well. Like there was like the men's, and then what was the other match? I'm just trying to remember. Unfortunately, can't think of it. Anyway, doesn't really
That
matter.
that that's the issue for me is like with the elimination chamber pay-per-view is like that's the reason like it was so mediocre. I barely remember any of the two other matches.
Yeah, yeah, as well. So we'll get into, in my opinion, as well. We're gonna have a bit on that, but yeah. Anyway, you might as well start us off. Here's Legion with the news. That
All
way.
right, we'll start off with the. Let's start off with I can't remember. My brain is fried.
The CM Punk interview.
Sorry. Oh yes, thank you. CM Punk interview.
Oh,
I
hey,
don't know if
hey, hey,
anybody has.
hey, hang on.
Uh,
I've jumped ahead. God, yeah. What are you liking in wrestling at the minute, Legion? God. Professionals, am I right? Professionals, that's my bad.
Like again, anything can happen when you're live.
Yep. What are you liking in wrestling at the minute?
What I've recently, I wanted to discuss this last time, but I don't know why I didn't. But I'm actually liking the how the within the wrestling world, at least I don't know since AEW and WWE anyway. They're blurring the lines between kayfabe and real life. What I mean by that is like when they're like cutting their promos, doing their interviews, things like that. You don't know if it's a shoot or a work these days.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you don't know if he really hates this person or whatever. Like back in the day, you knew if it was a work. You just knew. Nowadays, it's hard, very very hard. And I'll touch more into that in a bit.
Yeah, I saw an interview, not that I pay too much attention to him now, from Goldberg saying it's all predetermined now. Like, you don't know we already know what's going to happen. And I went, come on, Goldberg. I know you're a bit angry at the WWE, but come on, you don't need to be like that. My first, before I tell you what I'm liking, are you sitting down?
Maybe.
Because I want you to sit down, because you're probably going to faint when you hear what I'm liking at the minute, and I can't believe. I'll give people credit when credit's due as well. You know, what I'm about to say is you're going to be shocked. What I'm liking at the minute is the Young Bucks in AEW.
What?
You heard me. The Young Bucks in AEW. I'm loving their characters at the minute. It is. They are playing their characters to perfection at the minute. Like, it's the kind of Succession style. I don't know if you've ever seen that TV show, Succession. I haven't really seen it. But they're just... We all know they're the VIPs of... the EVPs of AEW and that. And now they're playing up to the character on screen. And that, like, they've changed their... their gear, they've changed their intro music, they've changed everything in that, and I think it's literally making me want to watch and want to see them get their ass kicked, and that's what you want to see from a heel as well. Like, if you really had them, go, I just want you to get beaten up in that. So they're just playing their characters great as well. Like, they're claiming credit for retiring Sting, even though they lost the match, but still they're just claiming credit for that, which I love, and they're really just getting into the heel character of them, and I love it. And I bet you never thought I would say that about the Young Bucks as well, because I've never really been a fan of the Elite and the Young Bucks, but kudos to them as well. I will give kudos, and that's what I'm liking.
I lost touch with them. Like I stopped watching them in particular.
Yeah.
Since they started AEW, because before AEW, when they were in New Japan and all that, I used to watch their work from time to time, and they were phenomenal. But once the AEW started, it's like they started to, what's the word I'm looking for? Not fade out, but trickle down.
Tone
from
down.
What they used to be.
Tone down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From what they used to be, and that just turned me away.
Yeah, okay. No, I will say, go watch even when they're doing interviews as well, like, they're picking up, like, having a go at, Renee Paquette, the guys on commentary as well, like, saying if you don't do your job, you'll be fired, and that, like, I just think they're give them credit where credit is due, and that. So, and let's just go check out, see if it's the world is ending as well, because I never thought I'd say that as well about the Young Bucks, but kudos to them as well. Hopefully they keep.
It has gotten colder outside.
Hopefully they keep the character up as well, and even, like, I don't know if you saw, they kicked Kenny Omega out and brought in Okada as well. So in the Elite, they kicked out Hangman Adam Page as well. So it's yeah.
Okay, that explains the whole thing with the whole. They said they quote unquote fired Kenny.
So it's going to set up for Kenny's return, and I don't know who will be tagging with. Obviously, probably Hangman, but who knows? And that down the track, and I'll actually want to see that match as well. So yeah. Anyway. All right, let's do take two. Here's Legion with the news. Jesus.
All right, let's try this again.
Yep. CM Punk interview.
CM Punk interview.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody has watched it here or on whoever's watching on YouTube, but if you've watched the interview, go check it out. It was just amazing.
It was nearly
the start.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Go ahead. No.
I was going to say
I
it's
can't
like
remember what I was going to talk about first.
it's nearly 2 hours long
Oh,
as well, so it's just
oh yeah, that was they covered a lot, but they did little snippets here and there of of questions, but the main one I really want to talk about is what everybody wanted to know is the whole Jack Perry incident.
yep. So
And
just for
and
people who don't know, tell us the Jack Perry incident as well. So
Jack Perry incident, it all started on an episode. I wouldn't say an episode of Collision, but it happened on Collision. Jack Perry wanted to do a stunt with glass originally. So from what this is from Punk's perspective, keep this in mind.
and this is real glass as
Uh,
well. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, this is real
Yeah.
glass.
So
A lot of trainers, producers had approached Perry about not doing this the spot, and he kept telling them, "No, I'm doing it. No, I'm doing it." Kept pushing it, and kept telling them pretty much to, I'm not going to say the word. He kept telling them to f off. And then they went to Punk, and Punk was trying to say, "Why can't you handle it?" Yada yada. He's like, he goes, "Fine, I'll take care of it." So he went to Perry, and he told him, "No, we're not doing this." And he says, "If you want to do this, you can do this on Wednesday nights." Pretty much saying on Dynamite. He goes, "All right, cool." And that was the end of that situation. That's how it started.
yeah,
And then it continued on to the to was it All In
it was, yeah. I think it was
or
all
All
in.
Out?
I think it was all.
Yeah, it was all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was All In. It was All In.
Yep.
Yes, it was All In.
Yep.
And then that because Punk said he was watching it from backstage in his in the from gorilla position, I think he said.
Yeah.
And then he saw the whole Jack Perry go Cry Me a River. People kept asking, was that reference towards you? He goes, of course that was reference towards me. And when Perry's match was over, he got backstage. It got a little altercation. His exact words. He got into it and choked him a little bit.
This was also before you go on. This is after he slammed Hook. It was Hook he was versing. Yes.
I believe so.
Yes.
Yes.
This is after he slammed him on the car, like the car windscreen, and that. And this is where the glass smashed, and then the Crimea River. This is where it's all started from. Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Like we've all like if you haven't seen the of course there's a GIF about it, but GIF, however you want to pronounce it. But yeah, got backstage. He looked at Tony like he told Tony to handle it, and he walked and he got a little altercation with Tony back there, and then he said, "I quit." Actually, no, I'm gonna backtrack a bit. While he was holding Perry by the throat, Samoa Joe's the one who told him to stop it, and Punk stopped. And that's when he looked at Tony, pretty much told him to handle it, and saying, Tony got altercation and just said, "I quit." He was done.
I.
And then
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. I still think both were in the wrong as well. I don't think Punk should have handled him. But in saying that, like, you know, Perry is new to the wrestling business. Well, not new, but he's, you know, a few years in compared to Punk. Like, Punk's, I know Punk hadn't been wrestling for a long time, but he's considered a veteran in that. You'd take the advice of a guy like Real Glass. Like, if I was doing a match with, say, you, and I said to you, hey, let's use glass, let me slam you into something, you're going to say no, personally, you know? Like, I know there are guys, deathmatch guys like that use glass, hit each other with the lights and all that stuff, but God, I don't want to go anywhere near glass and that, especially in that. I want a controlled environment, you know, like this, yeah. I'd,
And
yeah.
plus, this is televised where kids watch this product.
I think they do allow
And
blood on AEW. It's coming more on WWE as well,
yeah,
but
they do.
yeah, but it's yeah. I think both
And
guys. I think both guys are in the wrong still, but yeah, like it's just good that Punk
I,
actually told his story.
I don't disagree with you on that one. It's just the fact that I think this is my opinion. Only reason Punk went as far as he did, I think he just was fed up with
Yeah,
the way Perry was acting.
yeah. It's
Because he said he tried to get through to Perry many times,
yeah,
and it's like he didn't care. And then eventually, and then with that, and I can relate to that whole incident where Perry was talking to the camera, said "Cry Me a River," that would piss me off too.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, no, I'm not saying like I probably would have done exactly the same thing that Punk did, but I would have not like grabbed him. I would probably would have gone like had a few words to him and all that stuff, saying you're going to go on like a televised thing and do your own thing like that. That's just not how wrestling should be. You need to clear it with producers and all that stuff. Like I don't know how much how much time, like 2 hours of of the pay per view as well. Like it would be costing them a lot, and you're going to throw your little thing in like that. Going in business for yourself. That's just not. That's number one. That's not professional. And number two, you should be clearing it with the producers backstage as well. That I just thought, yeah, it's
And
yeah, go on.
anyways, like I just wanted to wrap this up a little bit. That's like with the whole Punk things. Like, yeah, he told Tony he quit. He was no longer with the company. Keep in mind, this was before his match with Samoa Joe.
Yeah, yeah,
So at that point, he had quit the company.
yeah, and
So he still went out there.
Yeah,
put on a show. He said he did it for Joe. He did it for the fans as well.
I mean, him and Joe have known
There's
each other.
other reasons as well.
Yeah, him and Joe have known each other for what 20 plus years now, and that like they started in Ring of Honor, and that like he could have just taken the ball, but I'm glad that he actually kept with it and was actually professional, and that's what you want.
Yeah,
just
he said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that was one of the reasons why he did it, because it was professionalism in him. That
Yeah.
said, oh, I had a commitment for this, so I'm gonna finish it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What else from what else from the CM Punk interview did you want to have a talk about as well?
The CM Punk character, because a lot of people kept wondering about this one as well. Does he? Because a lot of people, it's hard to tell with it all started with the pipe bomb incident.
Yeah.
Back in was it? What year was it? Like 2010?
No, 2011.
Was it 2011? All right.
Pipe bomb actually might have been 2010.
It started back then.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, go on.
But that whole thing was not a work. That entire was not a work. It was all a shoot. For anybody who's confused on what the two terms mean, because I know a lot of people are confused. Work means it's kayfabe, fake, scripted. A shoot, real. Real words being said.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, like I said, that entire thing was a shoot. So, and then whenever he gets in the ring, everybody keeps wondering, like when he talks, is that a work or is that a shoot? And he goes, that's the premise of being CM Punk. You never know. You never know if it's real or not, and he'll never tell us.
I mean, it's
until
It's like
and that's what's so great about him.
Yeah, it's kind of like the magician with the the secrets. Not going to fully tell you all the secrets and that when they do tricks and that. So you still want a bit of fantasy in the wrestling as well. Like number one thing that I think back to is Taker Lesnar at Mania when Lesnar won, and there's an interview by Paul Heyman saying, "Did Lesnar go in business for himself? We don't know," and that's so. Because The Undertaker, I don't know if you remember, he was concussed like 5 minutes into the match. And that's so. And the fact that he still wrestled a 20-minute match was good. But yeah, like it's.
Which one was this one?
This is WrestleMania 30 when Taker and like the streak ending basically. And that's so. There's a good Paul Heyman interview that people should have a look at as well. Like, Paul is obviously a really good, teller of stories and that, and he's just saying, did Brock go into business for himself and that? We don't know, and that. So I still like that as the the magic of wrestling and that. Like people say, oh, it's fake, and all this stuff. Yeah, it might be, but still, I'll give you try a month of trying to be a wrestler and that. Some people wouldn't. I know I wouldn't last, and that. So yeah.
Like I can debunk that one a little bit because it was like back during the Attitude Era days. You probably remember this with the Accolades based what was it?
Public Enemy?
They were Public Enemy.
Yeah.
They were sent out there to just demolish them.
Yeah.
That was not fake.
No,
That
no,
right there was not fake.
no. And that'll be
None of it was.
that'll be two guys I would not want to piss off. Ron Simmons and Bradshaw. Jeez, that's I
Yeah.
don't think I want to piss them off. Anything else from the interview of Punk as well before we head
Yeah.
off to something else?
One, one last thing is like because a lot of people kept wondering about the whole Punk appearance when he appeared backstage when he was still with AEW, like what was going on, who did he piss off, things of that nature, and why he showed up to begin with. Because if you remember during that time, he was kept talking the negativity about WWE during that time, like and before that, and it threw a lot of people off guard. And just a heads up, he showed up unannounced. No one knew he was coming. How it started was I think it was I don't remember where he was coming from, but they were on a plane back to I think Chicago, I think it was.
Yep.
And he ran into what he said his friend Bailey on the plane, and they started chatting it up. And he ran into quite a few other people. And when the plane and I think right before the plane landed, he said he lost his earpiece or earbud something, and his exact words, and a young girl named Liv Morgan helped him. And she helped him look for it, and they caught up and they talked. And when Raw was in when Raw was in Chicago,
Yeah.
he just appeared backstage to see Bailey, just say hi, hang out, and see a few other people, and he showed up unannounced. No one knew he was going to show up. Not even Hunter never should know. Vince didn't know. Nobody.
So what you're saying is Bailey is the reason for Bailey is the reason why that Punk is back. Basically, it was all her. Nah, it's
Yes.
trying to do a joke.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yes. Like you got to give her some redemption.
I think she'll get redemption this week. I'm just spoiling that. So it's interesting to hear as well from the because he met like the people that he met backstage was The Miz, Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin, and those particular people as well. So
Yes.
you can just imagine being there and see him come in and going, what the hell? Like, wow. And
It's like compared to what he was over 10 years ago.
yeah, the thing is as well, like what I remember from the interview is like he was still on the contract with AEW as well, and he went back.
Yes.
He went back to them like, and they were not happy at all. Like
Oh no.
they were not
They were
happy.
pissed.
What was the word they used was betrayed, and he made a good point
Yes.
saying. You guys are showing some of the AEW wrestlers doing interviews on WWE programming, like when they were. I know the former Daniel Bryan was on. Like I forget what the interview was for, and that might have been for John Cena. I'm pretty sure it was for John Cena and that, but they had a few AEWs, and he's appearing backstage where no one knows, apart from people reporting this, and they feel like they're getting betrayed. Nah, like I don't buy that from. I think that's a bit of a double standards by AEW, but yeah, that's it was a really good interview as well. Like I'm going to go back and listen to it again. Like I feel it's just a really good interview, and that's so.
And who was the interviewer? I can't remember his name for the life of me.
I would check it up now, but if everyone is over, we might link it in your YouTube channel as well for the interview.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
So
I'll give him a shout out.
yeah, it was a really good interview. If you guys want to watch it, go watch it, and that. So, I suppose I'll take over the next news bit as well. Unfortunately, there's been some releases at AEW as well. Let me get up the actual names of them as well. Here it is. Yes, there were several AEW wrestlers released, unfortunately. So, Stu Grayson, Dasha Curran, who's a ring announcer, Anthony Henry, the Dalton Castle Boys, Slim One, Gravity, Jose the assistant, Parker Bortex, who was in WWE, I forget his name, but he was actually in WWE, and then Joe Aju as well. So, the big one out there is Stu Grayson. Like, he was part of Dark Order. Dark Order was a big thing in the early days of AEW. It was kind of they were treating it as a joke thing first off, and that before Brody Lee got there and actually made it a force to be reckoned with as well. So we thank Brody Lee for that. God rest his soul. And that, but They were saying as well, reported from let me get the guy who reported as well, Seb Ross, Sap as well. It wasn't for cuts. It's just giving them opportunities elsewhere in the wrestling business, and that's so you know
Oh, Sean Ross Sapp.
yeah, Sean Ross Sap. Sorry, I butchered the name as well. Apologies. Um, it's you can say it's not budget cuts, but it's got to be a bit of budget cuts because obviously they're sitting around just getting a check and that and doing not too much. I don't think I can't remember last time any of those were guys were actually on as well. Maybe Stu Grayson, but that's it. So hopefully all those guys find some work anywhere else and that and yeah, like it's I'm going. Speaking, we'll talk later on about a couple of guys who I think should probably leave WWE because I don't think they're working too well. But anyway, that's a bit short of the news, but yeah, it's all good. So that's all anyone.
I'm gonna add. I
Yeah,
want to add one last, like a very small thing at the end that I caught wind before we went live.
yeah,
Is just take this with a grain of salt. These are just rumors that I've been reading about.
yep.
Apparently, Kenny Omega and WWE have been in talks for when his contract expires with AEW.
How do you? I know I'll be quick about this. How do you think WWE? How do you think Kenny Omega would be used in WWE?
Because in my opinion, I think he'll like go down to NXT and just flourish,
Do you
like
think? Do you?
and just because
Yeah. Do you think? Because this was the plan a few years ago. Him and the Bucks were supposed to come into. They were going to try to do a 6 month.
originally, yes.
Yeah, they were going to do a 6 month trial. Was the thing in NXT, and if it didn't work, they'd shake hands and go off. And this is before. Was this before AEW or was this a bit after
Yeah,
AEW?
this was right before AEW. That's like shortly after is when they announced the starting of AEW.
Yeah,
I remember that.
yeah. I'm bit. I feel like the WWE roster and the AEW rosters are both stacked as hell, and that's so. I would hope he'd get you. I wouldn't even have. You know me with the like. I'm not a big fan of the Elite as well, but I don't. I think he'd be wasted in NXT. I just want him straight to. Not like in the
Yeah,
title.
that was just
Yeah.
that was just that part was my opinion.
Yeah,
That part was my
yeah.
opinion.
Not straight into the title picture. You know, like I'm just trying to think. You can imagine a feud between him and Seth Rollins to start off. Like, when Seth loses the title, I mean, like it'd be a good opening feud and that. Like, it's trying to think of other guys as well. Like, like I don't
One
want
thing
to.
I'm thinking about if let's say he does sign with WWE,
Yeah,
like use this as a little fantasy thing.
yeah.
How he debuts is like how AJ Styles debuted in the Royal Rumble.
Or even Cody Rhodes at Mania.
Yeah, and I'll talk about that tomorrow when we get into it.
Yep, radio. I know I'm just adding as well, but another little news bit I just saw before we head off as well. Apparently, AEW are in maybe about to sign the Motor City Machine Guns as well. So hate to see them
I've been
leave.
hearing that for quite some time.
I hate to see both of them leave TNA, but I think Alex, both guys lost their titles recently, and that so obviously it is, and hopefully they can have a lot of great tag team matches in AEW with the FTR. There's so many great teams they can have rivals with as well.
This this is gonna sound wrong, or may sound wrong, but that them right there may be the reason why I start watching AEW because I was back in the early days. I was a huge fan of theirs.
The
Just imagine
the machine
them
the machine guns.
reigniting the rival. Yes, the machine guns.
Yeah.
Imagine them reigniting their feud with the Bucks.
Yeah. That's yeah. The Young Bucks as well. Like there's so many good tag teams as well. I forget. So yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's all.
because they fought the Bucks back in TNA before they were called the Young Bucks.
Yeah, they were called Generation Me. I'm pretty sure it was. So yeah.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yep.
that's the news. Radio. Let's get on to the next thing. In my opinion, I'm bringing it back as well. It's got a bit of a, I was going to say a WrestleMania theme, but not really a WrestleMania theme. With the success that WrestleMania has gone from being one night to 2 nights, do you think we should have more pay-per-views 2 nights? And when I say pay-per-views or premium live events, I mean the main four. We've already got WrestleMania 2 nights. Would you think Royal Rumble would work? Would you think SummerSlam would work? Would you think Survivor Series would work if there were 2 nights?
In my opinion, Uh, all but SummerSlam would work perfectly. Because SummerSlam is its own little entity. You can do it in one night. It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
It's just making that 2 nights is just too much. But Survivor Series, like personally, get rid of the War Games from Survivor Series, make it its own thing, and bring back the traditional tag team match that they used to do every year,
Yeah.
and have it like one day be like the men's tag team,
Yep.
and next another day the women's tag team, that kind of thing. And if every other year they want to do a whole Raw versus SmackDown match thing, by all means, but don't do it every year. Then there's of course Royal Rumble. That and I'm agreeing with you on this one. 2 matches and then the Rumbles. It's just no.
Yeah,
I'm
because
sorry.
this year at the Royal Rumble, like the main reason why they split WrestleMania into 2 nights was number one, it was in the COVID era, so they had to split it up in that. But then the number one too is like I think it was like maybe a couple of WrestleManias before. WrestleMania was 6 hours. Like I think
6 or 7 hours. Yeah.
yeah, 6 to 7 hours to sit there for a pay per view. For it's just way too long. So they split it up now. It's like three and a bit out. I think it's 3 hours each now. Which we got at the minute. We've got maybe
Like three, maybe four.
maybe four. But
Maybe
you
four.
split that over 2 nights. That's not too bad. Then 7 hours sitting like it's just yeah. But my thing is on the Royal Rumble this year. It was 4 hours of Royal Rumble. The two Rumble matches and then two other matches and that. And I think we can't do that because basically the Rumble matches are guaranteed to go 45 plus minutes at the minute, and then probably a bit more. We'll just say an hour for both of them and that. Maybe split it up, have the women's Rumble, the main event of night one, then the men's night two. Then you can have like, maybe a US title match, or Intercontinental title matches. If they don't want to do any of the main title matches, that's fine, and that I understand that. But then have gimmick matches, like couple of wrestlers face each other to get a spot into Rumble. I've been thinking about this for a bit. I would have a match that I've actually created called the number 29 match, where if you win, you are number 29. And people say, why not 30? I think 30 needs to be saved for the big surprises. Like the number one big surprise in the Rumble as well was when John Cena returned in 2008. It was so big that people cheered the shit out of him, and then realised, oh, we don't like this guy, then started booing him. And that, can you imagine, like, just like that? I just want that. Last couple of years, like, we've been...
That one in particular, because he was supposed to be out for like at least another 3 or 4 months.
Yeah. He had
if I'm not mistaken.
a bicep injury, and that's so...
Yeah. That's tremendous.
You can have at least have, if you're gonna do it like that, maybe have 3 or 4 matches over like 5 matches one night. Still like have it 3 hours and that. The Rumble's good for an hour each night, and then a few matches here and there, and that. SummerSlam is hard as well. Like it's supposed to be. Back in the old days, it was like the WrestleMania rematches, basically, or variants of WrestleMania matches. Like we had one year, just trying to think, I think it was WrestleMania 4. I think we had, or even WrestleMania. We'll go with WrestleMania. So it was Ted DiBiase and Randy Savage in the tournament final to determine the WWE title, and that I think Savage won. And then they had a tag team match at SummerSlam with Savage and Hogan and Andre the Giant and DiBiase, and then the next year it was Savage and Hogan at Mania, and then Hogan, Beefcake, and Savage and Zeus. It was at the so it's kind of more of a tag team style main event. I don't know if we can maybe incorporate something like that, but SummerSlam, I would want to think about more about the SummerSlam, but with you saying Survivor Series, like how I don't like gimmick pay-per-views, but I do. Maybe there is a way to get War Games off it, but I think War Games has actually saved Survivor Series because it was nearly going to be gone as a pay-per-view a couple of years ago, and you can have your opinion about it. I feel like night one have the traditional Survivor Series matches, and then night 2 would be the War Game matches, and that's just my opinion, and that's yeah. Um,
And that's not a bad one either.
yeah, I know. And we'll probably get into more. Maybe there's too many. Like, we'll get into another discussion down the line about pay per view. Like, how many pay per views should be in a year, and that, like, I don't want it going back to. I don't know if you remember. You might not remember, but I think it was either in 2006, 2007. There were 16 pay per views in one year in WWE. That's way too much. You know.
Yeah, that's too many.
We might talk about that another time, but I like the idea of just for some the main, like I call the main four pay per views, which is SummerSlam, Survivor Series, WrestleMania, and Royal Rumble. There's even someone saying maybe have maybe Money in the Bank 2 nights, but I think that'd be a bit overkill. I personally think Money in the Bank should not be a pay per view. I think it should be at Mania. That's just me. Anyway, um, I
It's like with Money in the Bank on the mind, like if they keep it as a pay per view, I get why people say have it 2 nights. I understand.
yeah, and that's so. I mean, the thing with the Money in the Bank matches as well, they wouldn't go over half an hour, so there's actually room to have both matches in one night. I feel like it's just the longer match types, like I said, like what the war game matches were, what 40 minutes each, something like that, both of them. So
Give or take, yeah.
yeah, so anyway, there's hopefully the people listening can make their own thing. We should probably get onto our WrestleMania predictions as well, shouldn't we?
Yeah, that's what everybody's been waiting for. Like, screw everything else. I want
No,
that.
no, everyone's waiting to see you wave again to him. So quickly do a wave to
Oh, hello.
him. See, this is the reason. Like, I could not be here, and they would just come to see you wave and all that stuff. But so we're going on what has been put out by, I think it was WWE. The matches on night 1 and night 2. We're going in order of matches as well. So let's get to night 1. By the way, before I start, this has probably been one of the hardest predictions I've ever done as well. Like, I'm still not happy, but I'll just go with these. If I make any late changes, I'll let you know. Let's go with night 1.
And I'm 100% with you.
Yep, night 1. The opening match is for the women's world title. Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley. Up until I heard this was going to be the opening match, I was going, Rhea's not losing. But now I just don't know. Because traditionally, when WrestleMania was on, to get the crowd hype, you would have like a huge babyface win or a great match to start off with. It would still be a great match, but, oh, God. What do you think of the build of this as well? This is the first time they face each other in, 5-6 years? They did face each other in NXT and that, but...
Oh, they did, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
I
So
forgot about that.
yeah, they brought it up. Like someone said, it's the first time they're ever going to be one-on-one on a. I think it was. I don't know if it was an NXT pay per view, but I think this is the first ever time one-on-one on a pay per view they will be facing. This seriously could go either way. I'm going to stick with Rhea. I think Rhea will win. If they play this right, there's also the story as well. Lynch hasn't signed a new contract as well, so I don't know if you heard that story.
I have.
Yeah.
I have.
Do you think she's holding enough to maybe get them to give her the win? Because she won the NXT title last year, and I don't think she should have, and had a good run with that. I don't think this is my viewing of it. I don't think Becky Lynch needs the title. And I don't think Rhea should lose it at the minute. I know she won it last year and it's been a year, but I just don't think she should lose it. That's just me. So I'm going for Rhea Ripley to win. What about you?
Oh, how many points do you have?
We'll say that at the end as well. So give me your thoughts as well.
All right. This is where things take a turn for me, anyway, because I had a hard choice, especially for this one in particular. For the longest time, like you said, you were like, I was leaning a lot towards Rhea, the winning, and then when I saw the shoot, they were the opening match. I'm like, okay, that changes things for me. Like, okay, and I was in the same mindset as you. They want a babyface win in the beginning to get the crowd all hyped up and things like that. But then I got to thinking real hard about this. Like, they're turning, because if you kind of think about it, they turned Becky Lynch like kind of into the modern Trish Stratus, right? And I got to thinking about that because when I especially when I heard that she has not resigned or thinking about resigning, like they might do a Trish Stratus with Becky Lynch, meaning having her win the title at WrestleMania and retire with it.
Whoa, okay.
So that's my pick right there.
You're
Becky
tip,
Lynch.
you're picking Becky Lynch.
Yes.
Wow. I was going to bring up this might be we haven't seen a double heel turn for a long time. Just with what I've been seeing with the Judgment Day, having a bit of tension in that, and with Rhea getting cheered as well, and even Becky Lynch acknowledging it, we might see a double turn. I I hope so. So
Is
yeah,
there's only one problem with that turn with the Becky turn though. It's not going to be successful because look what happened last time.
yeah,
Especially because when she was a heel,
yeah,
she was still getting cheered.
yeah. But the thing is, who would you cheer more, Rhea or Becky?
That's a tough one.
Yeah,
I th- and to backtrack just a little bit, I think this match is going to be similar to Hogan versus Rock.
it might be as well. Yeah. So you got Becky. How many points have you got Becky for?
I got where was I think I got Becky for 5 points.
You got Becky for 5 points. I've got Rhea Ripley for 7 points.
Okay.
Rightio. Let's go on to the six-pack challenge for the both tag team titles as well. They just announced when I was thinking of this, like when Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis say they had a huge tag team announcement, I thought finally they're going to split up the titles as well, because I feel like we've got enough tag teams in both brands to have two titles now. There are so many teams on Raw, so many teams on SmackDown, and that. But as soon as they announced it was a six-pack challenge, I went, whoa. And a ladder match as well. So I nearly would have had this opening a match because this would have got hyped as well. I personally think three teams cannot win it. This is just no offense to them as well.
The interesting thing is, I actually literally just popped in my head. The last time they had a tag team title ladder match with this amount of people was when the Hardys returned.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's that was God. That's when New Day hosted the Mania as well. So, um,
Yeah.
the three teams I don't think will win are New Catch Republic. They did impress me at the Elimination Chamber, as I said, but I don't think. I think they might be challenging for the tag titles because I think they've called them the Raw and SmackDown. Hopefully they change them to the WWE and World Tag Team titles and that. I hope they do that change soon as well. I don't think they can win it. I wouldn't have the New Day winning it. Like, they've won it so many times. I do want one more reign, them as champions, but I don't think... I nearly would have had either the Creeds or Pretty Deadly in instead of them. I think Kofi and Xavier are amazing guys as well. But I think it could have been an opportunity for one of those other two teams to get in as the match. And the other team, I can't even remember the teams in it as well. Like, I'm just...
It was A-Town Down Under with Theory.
Yeah, they're them. Yeah, I don't see them winning as well. I do want to see them as a tag team title reign, but not today as well.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that one.
So we got down to three teams. Unfortunately, I had to disclude down to three teams because I think one team's going to win one set of titles and the other team's going to win one set of titles. And unfortunately, the team missing out is DIY. I think they could win the title soon as well. But, yeah. So, I think the Raw Tag Team Champions will be the Awesome Truth. And the SmackDown Tag Team Champions will be Finn Balor and Damian Priest. And this will, then they'll be, this is what will start the Judgment Day breakup. They'll be exclusive to SmackDown and we'll have Ray, Rhea, and JD on Raw and that. So that's what I'm picking. What about you there, Legion? Who have you got?
Okay. I'm kind of almost, keyword almost, on the same page with you.
Yep.
But me and you have like a slight difference. But the whole A-Town Down Under, for one, I don't like that name. I really don't.
Yeah.
They could pick some completely better than that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree with that one right there. That they're not ready for tag team title matches or tag team title runs, I should say.
Yep.
Uh, maybe because that one right there, I see them splitting up and seeing either Theory or Waller turning face and then facing each other. Because you've been seeing like the whole
Yeah. Tension.
the tension between the two.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And the New Day, they've had their time to shine. I don't think they can they have another title run in the near future? Yes.
Yeah.
Is there time now? No, my opinion. And this comes down to the last four. I'm like, because New Catch Republic, I've been actually very impressed with them, with the whole Pete Dunne reinventing himself back to what he used to be.
Yep.
And then having, of course, I'm brain farting on his name so hard. Big strong boy.
Is it Tyler Bate?
Remember him by
Tyler Bate?
Tyler Bate. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. I knew it was Bate. Bate was in the name. I knew that. I was like, what's his first name? What the frick was his first name? They've impressed me a lot with the way their chemistry together.
Yep.
And I actually looked into it. They were actually a team back in the day, before WWE.
Yep.
So anyway, and then there was, of course, Awesome Truth. I'm like, okay, and then DIY, and of course, Judgment Day with Finn Balor and Damian Priest. I had a hard between those four, hard decision.
Yep.
And like DIY, I'm like, and part of me is like, I want them to win. I really want
Yeah.
them to
No.
win,
Like
I'm a huge fan of theirs since the NXT
yep.
days.
I completely agree. I want them. Like it's why I got them out. I think the MVP of WWE for the last few months as well, I probably should add, has been R-Truth. And I want him to have a WrestleMania moment. And I think he will have his WrestleMania moment here as well. So, yeah.
And that was actually what I talked about him on our first podcast. If
Yep.
anybody wants to look back at that.
Yep.
But I do not see them winning Saturday on night one.
Yep.
I do not.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I see them coming close, like real close.
Yep.
And putting on a great performance.
Yep.
Awesome Truth. I would love to see R-Truth get his redemption against Judgment Day. I really would.
Yep.
But I see him doing a lot to them, like demolishing, but I do not see it happening. Like, meaning getting his redemption, like taking the titles away from them, things like that. So what I have Judgment Day, Damian Priest and Finn Balor winning or capture, pretty much going for pretty much relinquishing the titles from the thing, but they only grab the Raw titles, but get interrupted as they're about to get the SmackDown titles.
Okay.
So them retaining the Raw titles.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But New Catch Republic winning the SmackDown titles.
That actually does make a bit of sense. I actually like that. How many points have you got them for?
I got 4 points for them.
So, and this as well, this is a bit hard. So, say if you get one right and one wrong, you'll get 2 points. If I get one right, I get one wrong, I get 1 point in that. So it's basically, and it doesn't matter if you had Judgment Day winning the Raw, if they win the SmackDown as well, we'll just say the two teams winning the two titles, and that we won't, you won't get a point because they only won the SmackDown and that. So yeah, that's what we're good on that.
But pretty much as long as they win their respective titles of what we chose.
No, if they
just them winning in general.
Just winning in general. So if I have
okay, that works.
Because then we're getting nitty picky in that. I know our competitions have been really, close to that. So, but I just think that's just like taking a bit too extreme. So you got Judgment Day and New Catch Republic, yes?
I will say this will probably be the first pay-per-view in a while me and you have differing choices.
I know, right? It's been, yeah. All right. I know I put it a bit out of order this match, but I want to talk about this next match. It's the tag team match, another tag team match as well. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar from I'm butchering the name as well. Escobar, yes, Escobar.
Escobar.
Santos Escobar from I can't even say the name as well.
Oops, I don't know.
This is. I was hoping this would be Rey Dom 2, and this would be Rey's retirement match with Dom getting the win, and that. But they've brought in
Santos Escobar.
Thank you for saying the name. I appreciate it. So, Um,
I'm waiting a long time for that one.
I will say one thing: when Ray was announcing who his tag team partner would be, we saw the little Carlito getting a bit miffed by the choice as well. So we might see a Carlito heel turn pretty soon as well, which I want as well because he just doesn't look good as a face. Personally, that's just my opinion. I think
No, he doesn't.
I think he's a much better heel than that. So I kind of feel like they brought Dragon Lee in so Ray doesn't have to do much of the tag team as well because he's recovering from knee surgery. Yeah, so
I think so, and I think he's going to be actually retiring here soon, if I'm not mistaken.
I want them if he can do it one more year, like to have a retirement match at the next Mania, him and Dom with the mask as well, and Dom takes the mask and that. So I don't know, maybe even where they make up and that. I don't know, but anyway, I've got this is one of the matches. God, see the thing is Ray won last year when he shouldn't have. So personally, this is my opinion, but I've got him and Dragon Lee winning again. But I think that would make it count for Dom and Santos winning. But yeah, this is a 50-50 for me. But since Ray is returning and hasn't won, he lost the match to Santos on SmackDown. So I think also Dragon Lee's pay per view like WrestleMania debut. I think they'll both get the win. What about you? What do you think? Thoughts on the match?
This is where me and you differ.
Again,
I agreed with what you said.
Yeah.
With what you said about the whole heel turn of Carlito.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
That it's because it was like a tease of what happened on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna say outright before when I get into it. I have, of course, Dominic and Santos winning this match. And here's the reason why is like I have them winning the match because I see Carlito costing Ray and Dragon Lee the match.
Yeah, that's yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And do you think you'd see
Pretty much him getting jealous. Jealous.
Do you think you'd see? It's kind of a bit like what happened with Santos and Ray. Like I don't think they would do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could see it, but then people would say, "Well, they've already done this story. Why are they doing this story again?" So again, three different matches. How many points have you got, Dom and Santos?
I got them for 2 points.
2 points. Radio. I know I've done this a bit out of order as well, in case you're saying as well. So the next match I've got here is Jade, Bianca, and Naomi versus Damage Control. This is they're making a big thing out of Jade and that, and I do not see her losing the WrestleMania debut. So I'm going to say like it's a kind of surprise. Like obviously she's in there with Naomi and Bianca as well, 2 seasoned pros as well. So I will have to speed through a quick couple of these as well because I want to talk a bit on the tag team match as well. But I just see Jade's team winning. That's just me. What about you, Legion?
I'm like partial because I already made my choice, but I'm partially to change it at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I just got thinking about a possibility that might happen during the match. Because I currently have down like you, I have Team Jade or Jade, Bianca, and Naomi.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Winning the match. I have them down as winning the match, and I really just thought about them like, oh my god, what if Jade turns on Bianca during the match, costing them the match?
Then we'd have to ask why.
Pretty much setting up the feud with Bianca.
To do it on the big stage.
That's like,
yeah. I mean, if you're happy to go with that,
it's like, no, it's like I'm a 50. It's like a 50-50 for me on that one.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna stick with my gut. I'm gonna go with Team Jade.
Okay, Team Jade. How many you got them for?
10 points.
10 points. I've got them for 11. So we're kind of in the ballpark with the points as well. So,
oh yeah, we are.
Yeah. So if like I said, if you need to make a choice just before the night one, just let me know as well. The next match.
Yeah, that one I'm a little 50-50 on that one, so it's really hard.
This was really hard for me, but this has turned out to be this is the match I got the most points on. Gunther versus Sami Zayn. I can make a point for both Sami Zayn. Since Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens last year walked out with the tag team titles, we can make a point Sammy walking out with the Intercontinental title, and Kevin Owens walking out with the US title. I just do not see it happening. I know they did the training montage with Chad Gable. By the way, I think Chad Gable should have been here personally. Then I would have maybe chosen Chad to win the thing, but I've got Gunther winning, 13 points as well.
You get? Did you get? Ooh, that's your lock.
That's my lock. Yep.
So did we just get a little spoiler for tomorrow from you?
No, you didn't.
A small little one?
No. So no. I don't know how many title changes are going to be. Like I don't think there should be too many, but yeah, I think Gunther will not lose the Intercontinental title now till I don't know when he'll lose it.
Has there been a WrestleMania? Has there been a WrestleMania where every title changed?
Maybe in the early days when it was only like 3 titles and that. I don't know. I'd have to have a look back at it as well. But with the current setup as well, I don't think too many titles changing hand wouldn't make sense, and that's But anyway, who have you got there? Legion, and why?
This one was actually like you said. This one was actually a tough one for me.
Yeah,
because I was thinking just like you, I was thinking Sami Zayn will get his redemption, get the like last year, get the redemption, winning the tag titles, but this year winning the Intercontinental title to get that spark back in him, like he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But I personally don't see him walking out the winner, so I have Gunther winning.
Yep.
But I don't see him winning the traditional way like he has in the past. I see Chad costing Sammy.
Oh, okay. Then what would happen with Alpha Academy? They'd probably have Tozawa take over Alpha Academy, and that
they've been slowly breaking off little by little, if you've noticed.
When they had the tag match, like for the qualifying for the 6-pack challenge, when it was Tozawa and Otis, I went, wow, well, I know who's not winning this match. No offense to both of those guys. Like I enjoy their work, but you know, to me this day, I don't know why they broke up Otis from Heavy Machinery. Like I still think they should be a team. But anyway, so how much have you got, Gunther?
Yeah, you can't. I got him for 7 points.
7 points. Okay, I'm interested to see what your lock is as well. So.
You can't tell me you don't do the Tozawa workout.
Listen,
you can't tell me you don't.
Listen, you know, people don't like me dancing as well. Like I can't dance anyway, so I don't think I'd even try on that anyway. I know we've gone out a bit of the match order as well, but before we get to the tag team title match, we got the third ever time at WrestleMania, brother versus brother, Jimmy versus Jay.
And I've actually did some before you get into that.
Yeah,
I actually done some research about it. Every 10 years, they do a brother versus brother match.
So it was Bret and Owen at Mania 10. Who was it at? Who was it at 20?
It was 20. It was who was that? Because I remember reading it. I remember reading into it. Sorry about the language.
No, I
remember reading into it.
The Hardys weren't at 30. I know that they're at 26. I think so.
There was somebody did a thing about. I'll look into it later.
Okay.
And I'll tweet about it or send you an image.
For me with this match as well, Jimmy versus Jay. For Jay to be main event Jey Uso, he needs to start winning some matches. So this has been going on since SummerSlam. Like I'm glad that they didn't face each other like in the pay-per-view straight after, and that they've been holding this off. I just think Jay needs to win. Personally, that's me. Maybe Jay win and then get a beat down from Jimmy and Solo after, but that's me personally. Jay, what about you?
In my opinion, he has lived up to his name as main event Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Like, for storyline basis, if it wasn't for the interferences, he would have been winning those matches 100%.
Yeah.
Because every time he was get close to winning the match, Jimmy would interfere every single time and prevent him from winning. It all started, of course, back at SummerSlam against Roman Reigns, which I'll get in later about that whole match on another show. That one just like, oh my, that just, yeah. I think we have our own points we want to talk about on that one.
Yep.
But I have Jey Uso coming on top, and I agree with you. He needs this win.
Yep. How many points you got Jay for?
I got 8 points. I was like literally going back and forth on this one. Like Jimmy was possibly could come out as the victor,
Yeah.
having like Solo interfere, costing Jay again.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, he still can't interfere. Don't get me wrong, but I still see Jay coming on top.
By the way, I have it for 8 points as well, so we agree on that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, cool.
it really depends if they want to keep extending this as well. It really depends on what happens in the main event as well. But anyway, the night 2 main
And
event as well. So
there was an article, I think, I don't remember how long ago. I think it was like a little over a year ago, that Jay said that before they retire, both him and Jimmy, they want to face each other.
yeah,
So this is telling me they're about to retire soon.
they're pretty young. I don't think that. I think they still got a few good years in both of them as well. That's just me. Like I know they've been since 2010.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Hmm.
But we don't know how much longer they'll be.
Yep.
So it might be like a couple more years for all we know.
All right, and then we're up to it. The main event of night 1, the tag team match. Seth and Cody versus Roman and The Rock. Can I say one thing? The Rock nickname as the final boss, amazing. And the fact that they brought back the Hollywood theme, I'm just so, this is so set. I've loved this and that. There can only be, I feel like there can only be one outcome in this. Hopefully we've probably both got it. Unfortunately, either one of The Rock, Roman, Cody, or Seth, they're not going to win a match at Mania. And personally, I think, since it's his return to Mania as well, I think The Rock will win. The Rock's team, Rock and Roman, will win. That and set up the Bloodline rules match for night 2, which we'll talk about at more extent tomorrow as well. So I've got them for 12 points. What about you there, Legion?
This one was actually a little tough one for me. Like, this is like, how do I put it? It's like, we all want that fair. This is the fan in me. We all want that fair one-on-one match with Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, right?
Yeah.
We all want it.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at reality and the way WWE works. It's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But before I get to my pick on that one, I probably already spoiled it. But anyway, if you've noticed, but the whole, go back to your thing about the whole Hollywood Rock. If you've noticed, back during his original Hollywood Rock run, he wore that same vest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That cow vest.
Yep.
That cow one.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, like I knew that thing looked familiar. I was like, and then yeah, I just wanted to nitpick on that. Was like, that's like amazing what the touch they did on that. But I also have Rock and Roman winning this match because like having Rock his first match in what is that 8 years?
Yeah, he had the. I don't really include the squash match he had against Eric Rowan at Mania. Like that's just
No.
I think it's like his first match since him and Cena, like in 2009.
Yeah.
9, I think.
When he lost the title.
Yeah, when he lost the title as well. So yeah, I see. Like, how many points you got them for as well?
This one is my lock.
This is your lock. Well, it was nearly my lock as well, but like I said, I think yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I was between two different this one and another match that was my lock, and I chose this one.
Okay, well then, I don't have I don't know where the rundown is. That's kind of, we've got our picks. Is that it? I would look at the
kind of, yeah.
Okay, rightio. Well then,
I think so.
Well, so far good podcast as well. It's been gone over a bit, but that's what happens in that. So when we get me, you could probably talk about wrestling for hours and that. So yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow around the same time for the second in the WrestleMania podcast and that. Legion, I hope you have a good day.
And one last thing before we go.
What's that?
For everybody watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe for another one, and stay tuned for the next episode tomorrow.
Hashtag sellout.
Oh, shush.
I'm SugarRay.
I am Legion.
We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Are you going to give us a wave?
Later.
You going to give us a wave?
I'll do it just for you. Bye.
I need the wave as well. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Later.